very early hours of the morning of the 24th of November 1861, the locals of Edinburgh's Old Town were rudely awakened by the incredible noise of the collapse of a 7-storey tenement building as it came crashing down.
The large building which toppled that fateful night was located on the north side of the High Street, directly above Bailie Fyfes Close. It was comprised mostly of timber and was thought to have been at least 250 years old. The historic pile was in a horrendous state of disrepair prior to the collapse, with the effects of subsidence evident throughout the structure. A facade of sturdy-looking yet ancient ashlar stone provided a false sense of security and belied the decayed state of the building's interior.
The death toll would eventually reach 35, including many young children and infants. Death was instantaneous for many of the families as they lay asleep at the time of the collapse. Some of the inhabitants had heard a rumbling around 10 minutes before the tragedy. Earlier that day, some tenants had complained of their doors jamming, and after the close itself collapsed, the council sent a builder round to investigate. The builder didn't think anyone was in any danger and tragically didn't order evacuation of the tenement. The collapse of the building at Bailie Fyfes Close led to the complete renovation of the Old Town, which had fallen into a state of dereliction. Living conditions were appalling during the 1800s. Up to 15 families would be crammed into a single tenement of 14 stories. Cholera was rife due to the lack of clean drinking water. An account from the Builder's Journal of 1861 indicated how vile Edinburgh had become.
We devoutly believe that no smell in Europe or Asia can equal in depth and intensity, in concentration and power, the diabolical combination of sulphureted hydrogen we came upon one evening about 10 o'clock in a place called Todrick's Wynd.
Walking down the Royal Mall today, it's surprising to think that as a result of the rebuilding, which had taken place by 1867, much of Edinburgh's new town is in fact significantly older than many parts of the Old Town. Bailie Fyfes Close was rebuilt in 1914. Today there is a plaque above Paisley Close depicting the disaster, with a famous quote by a young boy by the name of Joe McIver, who was reportedly heard under the rubble as people were trying to dig survivors out, crying out,
"Heave a while, lads! I'm not dead yet!